It's heavy.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 223. Day in that neighborhood, my people. We're back once again, y'all. Hope y'all doing excellent day out there as always. And we finna get into another one of these true crime, crazy, what the is going on type of videos. And this one right here, y'all, it got 9 for 1. We get 9 of those crazy, what is going on type of videos in one video. And the channel that we going back to see these 9 crazy ass stories is our homeboy, Dyer Trip. Going back to Dyer Trip, y'all. The title of the video, the 9 shocking and bizarre crimes for April 2023. Now, we have checked it out. We checked it out in March. I know we watched the one in February and maybe January. But like I said, it seemed like he do this every month now. He put out one of these type of videos and every month we gonna check it out. He actually released this Friday, but I was doing other stuff and trying to do other stuff. And I said I'll watch it with my people Monday. So that's what we about to do. But before we do that, my brothers and sisters, you know what you got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need. We back to Dyer Trip. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Hey there again, everybody. You know what time it is. It's another Strange and Bizarre Cases compilation. All the weird and dark cases I've come upon recently while researching that aren't really long enough to be their own video. So sit back and enjoy.
And get whatever you may need.
Alright, so here we've got 1 ton of CP material seized, Florida man charged. Things got pretty weird recently when police out in, you guessed it, Florida got some information back in January saying that several files containing CP had been uploaded to the internet from a local IP address. The police...
Hold on, time out, y'all. Is he talking about CP, the CP? A ton of it. Literally ton of... I don't even want to say that word, man, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh my Lord.
Trace the IP address back to a man in a nearby area, Ocala, named Paul Zittle, age 72, who looks exactly like the type of man you'd expect to be doing this sort of thing.
He really do.
They pretty easily got a warrant to search his home. During the raid on the house, Paul apparently got pretty defensive when the cops tried to search his bedroom, forbidding them from entering. After a while, he relented, but he still insisted on accompanying them on their search. It didn't take very long for the cops to find out exactly why he didn't want them to enter that room when they stumbled upon his hoard. Paul Zittle had mountains of CP boxes all over his bedroom. Actual physical prints arranged into dozens of large cardboard boxes as well as lying loose in stacks all over the room. His office featured similar items. In the office was a printer that showed what the cops said, obvious signs of heavy use. The sheriff posted to the office's Facebook profile, "Detectives seized the printed materials, a computer, and a digital storage device and removed them from the home." After counting more than 220,000 printed pictures of CP, the cops were obviously stunned and astounded at what they had come across. The boxes were listed as being, crusty. The weight of the material was, altogether, over 2,600 pounds in total. This might be the only time I've ever heard of such a material being measured in weight. The feeble old Paul Zittle was swiftly arrested and thrown into Marion County Jail, where he was given a $250,000 bond. As of the writing of this video, he's still in there. He's facing 25 counts of possession of CP. Now we've got men...
Hold on. Before we even go to the next one, I just gotta say this, man. Just me personally, people who watch that shit or be in the possession of CP, I'm not saying it is bad, it's murder or rape or none of that. But dude, it's up there. And he's 72. I feel like he needs to just go on serve the rest of his life in prison, man. Like, dude, I feel like you should get like 20, 30, 40, 50 years for shit like that, dude. That is absolutely sick. That's just sick on so many levels till we just gonna keep going.
Arrested for threatening to shoot 11-year-old who beat him at Fortnite. With over 100 million players all across the world, Fortnite attracts all manner of people. Some people take the game way too seriously and have anger issues, such as the man in this case. An 11-year-old boy had to receive protection from the police when a 45-year-old man he encountered while playing Fortnite, Michael Aliperti, threatened to violently end his life after the child killed him during a match. Over voice chat, he gave specific threats to the boy, saying he was going to come to his school and shoot him. The Suffolk County Police Chief said, "During the course of gaming on Monday evening, apparently the 11-year-old bested Mr. Aliperti in a Fortnite game and was able to win away virtual guns from Mr. Aliperti, which made him very upset, and he started threatening the 11-year-old juvenile, saying he would cause him pain, that he would find him with a gun." Michael was pretty quickly arrested the next morning, having threatened to shoot an elementary school kid and all. He was arrested in his home at about 1:40 a.m. He went on to plead not guilty to aggravated harassment and acting in a manner to injure a child. Michael's neighbors were disturbed by the allegations against him, with one of them saying that the incident was, quote, "disturbing, inappropriate, and not okay on every level." Another said, "The 45-year-old needs to find something better to do with his time than playing video games with 11-year-olds. And one more chimed in with, "So many parents out there who are not managing their children's time on social media as well as games." The criminal's mother herself told the media, "I am very upset," saying that she could only respond with, "What do you mean threatening?" when she heard about the allegations against her son. She was crying as she defended her son, saying that he was just a normal, simple man who owned a landscaping business. She felt that her son was merely having some interesting fun and lost his cool when it came to being beaten by a child. The police, as they usually do in a case like this, simply urged parents to monitor their children's activity online more closely. Michael Aliperti, after pleading not guilty, was released on a $10,000 bond. He was ordered to stay away from the boy he threatened, as well as to stay away with the group that the boy normally played Fortnite with. Probably for the best. And here's a...
But you know, with that one right there, y'all, that shit pretty much happens every day. In the video game world, the video game realm, like, I've heard so many threats, and I'm not even a gamer no more, but I've heard when I'm playing, playing a whatever game, whatever type of game, man, people get so mad where they be like, I'm gonna kill you and all this and all that. That shit happens every day. Especially like, so, I mean, I ain't saying he's supposed to get charged or nothing like that, but that ain't so shocking to me. And it sounds sad that it ain't, but I trust me, y'all. I know some of y'all probably don't play video games, don't know nothing about them, but that shit happens every day where people make threats over video games. And I can say this too, ain't just keeping it real now. The 11-year-old, we don't know what the 11-year-old probably was telling that man either, because I've heard some little kids, 11-year-olds, 10, 9, 8, get on the goddamn video game and be cussing like a sailor and talking all that crazy shit about how they gonna kill you in real life and shit. You know what I'm saying? The shit go both ways too. Long story short, short story long, video gaming, like online video gaming, can be very toxic. Let's go to the third one.
Story for sure. New Hampshire man who put razor blades in pizza dough sentenced to prison. Out in Portland, Maine, a man has been accused of slipping some razor blades and screws into some pizza dough across a few supermarkets in Maine and New Hampshire. This man is named Nicholas Mitchell, who is 39 years old. Surveillance footage from the supermarket showed Nicholas grabbing pizza dough in the shops and loitering around the store fridges, only to ultimately leave the stores without buying anything. In the end, nobody was injured, but the act still spread fear throughout the local community. 3 different customers had bought the products within the city of Saco and noticed the blades hidden within the dough. After similar discoveries in nearby stores were made, the police launched an investigation that spanned multiple communities. After the razors and the screws in the dough were ultimately traced back to the odd security cam footage, Nicholas was arrested. Despite catching COVID in jail and being pretty under the weather to say the least, his hearing was held. He has been sentenced to 4 years and 9 months in federal prison. This sentencing came following an agreement with the prosecutors after he pleaded guilty back in June to one of 2 counts against him, a count of tampering with a consumer product. He's also going to have to pay almost $230,000 in restitution to Hannaford Supermarkets. Nicholas, through tears, apologized for his actions. Mitchell was formerly an employee of a company called It'll Be Pizza. He said that he did it to get revenge on the pizza dough company that fired him, but he didn't really want to hurt anybody. Although, given what he did, it would be more safe to say that he didn't care if he hurt anybody. In court, it was revealed that Nicholas went through quite the downward spiral during lockdown when his girlfriend, a self-employed hairstylist, was no longer able to work. It's unclear what exactly happened between the two, but in the end, Nicholas was arrested for what they called a domestic disturbance. This left him homeless and living out of his car. Then, to add more to the pile, he was fired from his It'll Be Pizza job as well. Nicholas signed an agreement that he would not appeal a sentence that is less than 4 years and 9 months in length. The maximum penalty for the charges against him, though, could carry a maximum of 10 years in prison. He's lucky that he got off as easily as he did. Next up...
Hell yeah, he lucky he got off as easily as he did. Me personally, y'all, I feel like that man should go to jail for attempted murder. Man, that's basically attempted murder in my eye. Fuck that, bro. You putting razor blades in pizza dough, knowing that when somebody, let's say somebody was to eat a piece of that pizza dough that got the razor blades in it. Man, you swallow that shit, bro. That shit gonna get to cutting your throat all the way down into your intestines and shit, to the point where you may just die because you may start bleeding internally that can't be stopped because of that fucking razor blade. That was attempted murder. I'm mad at that dude. That dude need to be locked up for life. Y'all know who I am. I am with that shit. Murder, attempted murder, all that, life in prison, death penalty, throw it to him, give it to him. Let's go to number 4.
Student accused of attacking teacher's aide over Nintendo Switch held on $1 million bail. On February 21st, at the Matanzas High School in Palm Coast, a female teacher's aide was assigned to work with students with individual education plans. One student, who was staying at a nearby group home called East Coast Habilitation Options, became quite the problem for her. The teacher took a Nintendo Switch away from one of the boys in school when he was caught playing it in class. This sent the student into a rage. A surveillance camera in the school hallways caught footage of the student, a 6'6", 270-pound monster of a child, running up to the teacher's aide, pushing her down to the ground, and then pummeling her with punches and kicks. Even when the teacher...
Okay, I thought when he said student, I'm just thinking of a little small, you know what I'm saying, maybe 10-year-old child. Man, that is a grown man in a child body. That is a grown man that just so happened to be under the age of 18. This dude 6'6". Oh hell no, bro. He need to go to jail for assault for real. Even though he underage. Fuck that. He too damn big. Fuck his age. Look at his size.
Teacher's aide was knocked unconscious. The student still continued punching and kicking her, even in the head several times. In total, she was bashed in the back of the head a total of at least 15 times. A crowd converged on the two and they were able to, after a struggle, finally forcefully pull the kid off of her. The student was taken away in handcuffs while medical personnel took care of the teacher's aide. This was when the boy thought that it would be wise to spit toward the victim, yelling that he was going to kill her for what she had done. The teacher's aide remained on the floor for several minutes before standing back up. The teacher was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment and, after some time, was able to be released. The 17-year-old boy was charged with aggravated battery on a school board employee, which is a first-degree felony that could carry a sentence of up to 30 years in prison. Once reality hit the boy in the face, he asked the police what was going to happen to him. More importantly, he wanted to know if he was going to be able to stay in his group home. The police deputy responded with, "I don't know," and this sent the student into yet another rage. He kicked a desk and a computer nearby, causing the monitor to fall off and break on the floor. This did not help his case. The boys' group home is noted as being a home agency for behaviorally challenged children and young adults. More information on the website shows that the home, quote, helps children, teens, and adults with autism, intellectual disabilities, and behavior challenges. Now it seems that the boy is going to be tried as an adult, with his case being upgraded to an adult court. This makes the felony charge against him just that more daunting. The student is currently being held on a $1 million bail out in Flagler County Jail. Now,
That boy got problem for real, and he too damn big. I ain't even trying to be funny when I say that, but he too fucking physically imposing to have them mental issues like that, man. Like, he need help. Somebody need to help that boy. Now, he's staying in a home that's supposed to be helping him or whatever. But that dude, he just 17. If he do get out of prison or jail or whatever, he really can be a danger to society with them actions.
here's a really bizarre case coming out of China. Chinese man who robbed a gas station and spent 14 years in cave hiding finally surrenders. A man in China...
Ho. Sometimes I gotta take it back, y'all. Hold on now. I gotta read this.
Here's a really bizarre case coming out of China. Chinese man who robbed a
gas station and spent 14 years in cave hiding finally surrenders. 14 years in a cave?
gas station and spent 14 years in cave hiding finally surrenders. A man in China, Liu Mofu, 14 years ago, along with his brother-in-law and another friend, robbed a gas station of 156 yuan, about 22 US dollars. After getting the money, they bought some fireworks and then spread the remaining change amongst them equally. After the three men decided to part ways, both of the other accomplices were caught by the police. Feeling the walls closing in on him, Liu decided to go off the grid in order to avoid being captured. He decided that he would lay low in a cave until the heat died down. The guy then spent the next 14 years of his life hiding from the cops in a remote mountain cave about 10 kilometers from the village he lived in, a place called Enshi out in the Hubei province. Liu, who was in his 30s when he originally committed the robbery, was now well into his 50s, living in solitude as a caveman. Once in a while, he would travel down to the village in order to steal some food and mingle with the locals, even visiting his family on very rare occasions. It isn't known if his family actually knew what was going on or if they just thought he was being really weird, although it has been said that they did urge him to confess to the police multiple times over the years. After 14 long years of mostly solitude, Liu decided that it was finally time to come clean and come down out of the cave. Liu's wife, who it seems he married before all of this happened, is in bad health, and he now has a grandchild he wants to meet. It is thought that these two things combined caused Liu to realize that he wanted to go back to living a normal life. Even after surrendering to the police and being arrested, it is still pretty likely that Liu is going to have to serve out the full sentence for his crimes. Robbery in China is often treated much more harshly than in other countries, even a robbery of such a small amount of money. It's expected that he's going to have to serve anywhere from 3 to 10 years in prison. The irony in all of this is that if he had just surrendered in the first place, he would have already been out of prison long ago and would already be living a normal life again. Instead, he chose to effectively give him a 14-year sentence, being confined to a grimy old cave instead of a jail cell, on top of the prison sentence he was fated to serve regardless. Here's it.
Man, that one right there just still that shit sound unbelievable, man. This man goddamn was in a cave for 14 years just because he robbed some people and ain't want to get caught. Like, even if he was an innocent person, I just find it hard. And I know it's probably some people out there, it's a big ass world we live in, that's living in caves, but it's just hard for me to think. Did y'all see that room? That's where he been staying for 14 years? Mind blowing.
A controversial one. Del Mar Union School Board member resigns after arrest during human trafficking operation in Florida. Here we have the case of a man named Scott Wooden, who was arrested on February 11th on suspicion of soliciting for prostitution. The big scandal here is that Scott had been serving on the Del Mar Union School Board out in California for over 10 years. He resigned from the school board upon being arrested on the previously mentioned charges. However, as bad as things already seem, they were actually much more complicated than that. Scott, now 60 years old, was actually one of 213 people arrested throughout an intense week-long police operation, one they called Operation Traffic Stop. This was a huge effort in order to crack down on human trafficking that was becoming a big problem in Polk County. Scott Wooden was arrested on February 11th, but out free on the 13th after posting his very low $500 bail. Once out, he refused to respond to requests for comments from the media. On February 16th, once news of the true details of the arrest came to light, the school board learned of his situation. A Polk County sheriff named Grady Judd highlighted Scott's arrest specifically, holding up his mugshot and saying, "Where would we be in a human trafficking operation without an elected official?" Although Scott was not from the area, he would show up from time to time to help with his parents, he claimed. While there, he would often actually engage in prostitution, paying about $200 each time. The problem is, though, those prostitutes were victims of human trafficking. Scott, who holds a doctorate degree from the University of Southern California, was originally working as a molecular biologist. He had retired, but he still wanted to get out there and contribute, and he was elected to the Del Mar Union School District Board back in 2010 and then subsequently re-elected. He seemed like a very good man, a normal guy with a normal nuclear family. This family consisted of a wife that he had been married to for 23 years and their 2 kids. By this point, they had all been living in San Diego for 20 years. During his original campaign, he stated that his goal was to bring more stability to the school district by, as he said, providing mutual respect, trust, and leadership principles that put all children first every time. Grady Judd said, "This guy knows better. He's supposed to be a leader in the community. He's an elected official. He's making decisions for our children, and he's out soliciting prostitutes." The school district commented, noting that Scott had already abruptly resigned from his post, effective immediately, saying, "While we do not yet know all the details and circumstances of the incident, the allegations are shocking and extremely concerning. It seems they are already searching for someone new to fill the spot." Of all of the 213 people arrested, 89 of those were arrested on suspicion of solicitation, and 111 of them were suspected of fully engaging in prostitution. 13 others were arrested on other various charges, 10 of which were arrested for getting payment from the prostitution or aiding and abetting in it. Luckily, throughout the operation, the police were able to identify and save 24 human trafficking victims. The sheriff said that his department performs big sting operations like this a couple of times a year actually, but this is the first one that has resulted in this many arrests so far.
Wake up. Somebody in Washington with more than 5 brain cells needs to listen to this. Well, maybe asking them to have 5 brain cells too many. Let's shoot for 3 brain cells.
And here we...
Now that one right there is just the classic case of just always remember, it don't matter if the person elected oath. Let me say it again. An elected official, a fucking judge, the police, a fireman, a doctor, a lawyer, the fucking garbage can man, the trash man, the person who at McDonald's flipping burgers, the coach at school. It don't matter who the fuck you is in this world, bro. That do not mean that you ain't up to no crazy shit. Like, for real, the preacher. The fucking preacher. Just because you a preacher do not mean you ain't up to no goddamn fucked up crazy shit. Crazy, man. I mean, we all humans. And it's some fucked up ass humans regardless of the title that they hold for their job. Y'all just be safe, man. Just watch out for everybody that you don't know for real.
Got... Man charged after tickling, licking 7-year-old boy's feet at indoor adventure park. As the title of the segment says, a guy out in Georgia was arrested after the police said that he both tickled and licked the feet of a 7-year-old boy at what is called an indoor adventure park. The 26-year-old man named Corey Rollins was arrested just a few weeks ago for the licking incident that took place on January 14th at Urban Air Adventure Park. To make matters much worse, Corey was employed as a PE teacher at a local elementary school.
Wow.
Police officers said that the young boy's parents...
So how many of them damn little children feet he been licking? I ain't even trying to be funny. It do begs that question. It do make you... Then that shit pop up in your head. Tell the truth now.
Informed them that Corey came up to the boy as he played at a fenced-in play area. Corey reportedly approached the boy, asking to tickle his feet. After doing so, he requested that the boy remove his socks. Upon this, he proceeded to lick both of his feet. The owner of the business said that Corey reportedly entered the building without any kids of his own by himself. However, others have countered this claim, saying that he did enter with his family originally, they just left before him. In the end, does it really matter?
No.
The business owner further stated that no security cameras captured the whole ordeal because this particular location was just out of the camera's view. He said that he was going to increase the amount of cameras within the building in order to cover these blind spots. Corey Rollins is facing charges of non-aggravated child molestation. He has since been fired from his job as a PE teacher, thank God.
Thank
And
God.
this one, Minnesota father...
That's all I can say for that one is thank God he got fired. Because, like I said, y'all, if he doing that shit at a damn indoor adventure park or whatever, and he was a PE teacher, he might have sucked some of them little kids' toes, man. Let's go. Let's go.
allegedly uses moose antler, shovel to fatally beat man he suspected of abusing children. This particular incident took place because a man named Levi William Axtell, age 27, had a long ongoing conflict with an unnamed 77-year-old man. Levi claimed that the 77-year-old had stalked his 22-month-old daughter over a period of months, but admitted that, quote, nothing was ever sustained, likely meaning that there was no actual physical contact. But he would often see the man's car parked outside of his daughter's daycare and even got a restraining order against him at one point. When it comes to whether or not the 77-year-old actually had a history of assaulting kids, it appears that, yeah, he did. There was a case against him that took place in Minnesota back in 1979. It seems that he assaulted a 6-year-old girl and he was in jail for that until the mid-1980s. Wanting to protect his daughter and possibly other children as well, Levi drove his white Dodge Caravan up into the driveway of the 77-year-old man's home. He smashed up his vehicle and then ran inside the house. The man's closest neighbors heard screaming coming from inside the home. Levi had picked up a shovel he found on the man's deck and taken it inside, bashing him over the head with it about 20 times.
Damn.
He then grabbed a large moose antler nearby and finished him off, smashing it over the man's head several more times. Neighbors then witnessed Levi running from the scene. Levi hopped back into his car and drove straight down to the local police station. Completely covered in blood, he entered the building with his hands on his head, confessing that he had just killed a man. The police went out to the victim's home and found him lying there dead next to a bloody shovel. The medical exam report stated that the man had a few defensive wounds and definitely died from blunt force trauma, something that wasn't necessarily a secret to anyone. Levi fully admitted to what he had done only minutes after killing the man. He told the police that he had known the man for a very long time, saying, I believed him to have sexually offended against children in the past. Levi Axtell has been charged with second-degree murder. We'll just have to wait and see where the case goes from here.
Now that one right there was tricky. It was tricky, but at the end of the day, he did commit murder. But I'm trying to. Was he right in doing that? Cause did he really have enough evidence to kill that man for that shit? You know what I'm saying? He said that the man was stalking his 22-month-old daughter, so this is basically like a 2-year-old. But if the man ain't like actually touched her or said nothing to her or some shit like that, I don't know if he should have. I don't know, man. I think if I was the judge on that jury, I gotta get that dude life in prison or the death penalty. Like I can't have no remorse for what he did. At the end of the day, he a fucking murderer, but I'm trying to understand and feel for why he did it, but I can't really feel for it. I can't really feel for it, man. I can't really feel for it.
And now, woman rode motorbike naked, got fingered in the street, and punched a blind man. Now this might be the craziest one I talk about today, both figuratively and literally. A woman, Natasha Klaus, age 36, has been recently banned from entering a town called Woking and jailed. This came after she punched a blind man and was subsequently caught in the middle of an erotic act in the middle of a busy street and swiftly thrown into jail. It was later explained that Natasha had a habit of befriending vulnerable men only to take advantage of them later on. One of these men was on the verge of being kicked out of his apartment by a local council after Natasha, who was living with him, was showing what they called very antisocial behavior. The two argued, which resulted in Natasha punching the man in the face. Because the man was blind, he couldn't actually tell if Natasha hit him with a balled fist or simply slapped him with an open palm. Assault either way. Then the prosecutors in her case stated that Natasha was caught with a finger inside her goo-goo in the middle of a street when a mother, who was with her 2 children, asked her to stop what she was doing. Natasha then threatened to punch the mother. The police were called, but by the time they arrived, Natasha had already pulled her pants back up, although she forgot to put her underwear back on.
Wow.
The trial revealed that she had also been caught driving through the town of Surrey on a motorbike, completely naked, although she wasn't actually arrested in relation to that event. While being arrested, Natasha even assaulted 2 police officers, along with calling them some pretty unsavory, naughty names. The woman was described by the judge as a mess, not only due to what she had done, but also due to the fact that she showed up to court over 4 hours late. The defense said that Natasha was exhibiting odd behavior because she was addicted to huffing butane gas. The judge looked at her and told her plainly, "Your life is a mess." The judge elaborated, saying, "Any assault on a vulnerable person is very serious indeed, as is any attack on the police officers who we have a moral obligation to protect. You are a mess. Your life is a mess. I spoke to your son earlier, and it is a testament to something in your son's life that he's never been to court and finds this whole situation awful. I have made a criminal behavior order against you, restricting your movements and behavior." She pled guilty to outraging public decency after she was caught in the act in the middle of the street, one which the judge said was no doubt for money. She was then handed a 13-month sentence. She was jailed for 3 months for punching the blind man, 2 months for each attack on each police officer, 2 months for racist remarks to one of the police officers, 1 month for outraging public decency, and 1 more month for threatening to harm the mother who asked her to stop. Then she was jailed for 4 more months after breaching a previous suspended jail sentence. Her life is a mess.
That's pretty much how you can sum that one up. Her life is a fucking mess.
Once again, thank you for watching my video. This one is, a little later than usual. I wanted to get that April Fool's video out on April Fool's Day, and that worked out fine. If you found the content interesting, please give it a like, as it really helps out in the algorithm, and if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe, as I post one of these kinds of videos every month. If you want to support the channel even further, which I really...
And we'll be back every month, Dial Trip. Most definitely. Me and my brothers and sisters be back every month, because this dude have some of the most bizarre and shocking crimes that you'll ever fucking hear, man. And out of all the ones we watched, I think these was the most weird ones. There was so many weird shit up in this one. The damn lady right there, her life is just a damn mess, man. She just doing crazy shit. Just doing crazy shit. What else? The man in the cave. I'm still stuck on that. Now, like I said, I know it's people, it's a big ass world, you know, over in like Africa and stuff. You got tribes and stuff, but they've been living like that they whole damn life, living outside in the wilderness and shit. This man actually had a normal life, then decided to go hide in the cave for 14 years. That is some crazy ass shit. What else we had? The dude putting the damn razor blades and the damn pizza dough. The fucking the man who killed the 77-year-old because he felt like his daughter was getting stalked by him. Like, he had no evidence. That's the only problem that fuck with me on that one. The first one, the old 70, he was 72 with the damn CP, tons of it. Man, there's some crazy ass people out here in this world, y'all. It's just crazy people. The damn man who fucking was why I can't never say this word? An elected official. Why I can't say that together? Him, it just goes to show you that it don't matter what the fuck your occupation is, man. Your ass still gonna be a crazy motherfucker. Big boy, big overgrown ass child beating up on that lady like that. That was just he seriously gonna need some help, man. He needs some help if he gonna be ever let out into society, because he too damn aggressive to be that fucking big. I can't think of all of them, y'all, but this shit here was just crazy, man. As always, bro, I appreciate coming back to Dial Trip, man. I appreciate y'all coming back as always, my brothers and sisters. And make sure you come back tomorrow, because I think we going back to Mike tomorrow. He more than likely putting out a video. But until I see y'all again, y'all also make sure that you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that for me. Let's keep growing this channel, man. I'm still waiting on them 1,000 subscribers so I can give out that $1,000. But until I see y'all tomorrow, my brothers and sisters, I still got to say this right here. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.